Alright, so, that wasn't the end of the episode, actually. I just walked the whole thing back again, because I quit, checked out my... Shut up! Checked out my episode thing, and next part is still part of the first episode. So, I think this will still be a second episode for my series, but I'm going to be quiet because here comes some text.
Dear Esther, I have now driven the stretch of the M5 between Exeter and Bristol over 21 times. But although I have all the reports and all the witnesses, and have cross-referenced them within a millimetre using my Ordnance Survey maps, I simply cannot find the location. You'd think there would be marks to serve as some evidence. It's somewhere between the turn-off for Sanford and the welcome brake services, but although I can always see it in my rear-view mirror, I have as yet been unable to pull ashore.
There's like two paths, I just go in the middle. I think I'm gonna go this way. That looks like the way they want me to go. It's that lighthouse I saw in the last part of this episode. When I was walking back, I just walked through the same thing I walked before, but like took any shortcuts I could find. I noticed that it wasn't on this island. It's actually on a really far away island, like that island. I think there's another blinky light. It was a little bit further than that blinky light. I wonder if this is the boat he was talking about earlier. I also noticed that he said, when he was talking about that chick with the birthmark, that it had faded when she was 6 years old before he had ever met her. So I don't know how he created vacuums if he had never met her, especially if she was his daughter. Unless he means like he didn't meet her, like get to know her until she was about that age.
An imagined answer phone message. The tyres are flat, the wheel spins loosely, and the brake fluid has run like ink over this map, staining the landmarks and rendering the coastline mute, compromised. Where you saw galaxies, I saw only bruises cut into the cliff by my lack of sobriety.
Yeah, so that's probably like, when you're a baby, you don't really have a personality at all. I can see when you get to be 6, that's when you really, granted, personality is gained over such a long time that to give it a specified age when it starts, there it is, that's a different island. To give it a specified age where it starts is kind of inaccurate, unprecise, but I think that 6 years old is a good age to estimate about, ouch, approximately, what it would be when you start to really show your personality slightly. Well, not really, but there's something there, and especially for a parent, like taking care of a baby is so much different than taking care of a child, I think. See if this road will go anywhere. So, I wanted to be in the comfort zone when I'm doing this game, so I'm using my fuzzy headphones. And if you guys haven't seen my response to Doc M's video, these things are like amazing. They're $7 from American Eagle. I got them last year, and they're the best investment I've ever made. They're like headphones that are fuzzy and amazing. They're earmuffs with headphones for $7. So amazing. I went today to Black Friday shopping to American Eagle, and they didn't have them anymore. And I asked the chick if they had them, and she said no, but she knew what I was talking about, and she was very sad that they didn't have them either. And I got really sad too, because I could have had them 40% off. In case you were wondering. Don't touch the butt. I touched the butt. Looks like a package. I guess it's a piece of wood. Maybe. Oh, they're just tying it on to heavy stuff. A piece of wood didn't look like it would really weigh down a boat. Alright. at all this trash. Oh, it must have had a barge with it. So here. Like, oh, let's go through here instead of looking at the barge. See, like, that's another piece of wood, or just a, honestly, it looks like a package. I feel like I'm, the guy from Castaway. Wilson! I have the hiccups like crazy. Dang it. I wonder if that goes underwater. Oh, there's something here. Derp. This game actually has a controller option. I tried it out a little bit, and I don't really like it.
There must be a hole in the bottom of the boat. How else could new hermits have arrived?
Okay. Looks like we're going that way. Anyway. What was I saying? It's okay, it probably doesn't matter. I know you guys are like not forgetting what I said, and they're like, "Oh, Jason, just continue your story. I know what it is." And nope, I don't know. Sorry. Something to do with something over there.
I had kidney stones, and you visited me in the hospital.
No, you didn't.
After the operation, when I was still half submerged in anesthetic. Your outline and your speech both blurred. Now my stones have grown into an island and made their escape, and you have been rendered opaque by the car of a drunk.
So was she killed by a drunk driver? That would explain the ethanol. And the guy, his responsibility. Aging him. I want to check out what that hole is.
What charnel house lies at the foot of this abyss? How many dead shepherds could fill this hole?
Oh. Found another way you can die in this game.
Come back.
Okay, I'm back. Don't fall down the hole. That's a no-no. We no go down the hole. There's dead bodies down there, probably. People stupid enough to fall down there. Stupid. There's a house up there. Better go check it out. So it must have been eight people that lived here.
I've begun my ascent on the windless slope of the western side. The setting sun was an inflamed eye squeezing shut against the light shone in by the doctors. My neck is aching through constantly craning my head up to track the light of the aerial. I must look downwards, follow the path under the island to a new beginning.
That's just the music, okay. Anyway, there must have been like a whole people that lived here. Like a whole civilization or something close to one. Because like the pathways seem like it would be more family oriented. It's pretty haggard. You look at like that's barbed wire over there. These buildings, well, they took bricks to make, so.
The bothy was constructed originally in the early 1700s.
Really?
By then, shepherding had formalized into a career.
Okay.
The first habitual shepherd was a man called Jakobsen, from a lineage of migratory Scandinavians. He was not considered a man of breeding by the mainlanders. He came here every summer whilst building the bothy, hoping eventually that becoming a man of property would secure him a wife and a lineage. Donnelly records that it did not work. He caught some disease from his malcontented goats and died 2 years after completing it.
Sad.
There was no one to carve white lines into the cliff for him either.
There would be no one for me when I died too. Okay, so.
When the oil lamps ran out, I didn't pick up a torch, but used the moonlight to read by. When I've pulled the last shreds of sense from it, I will throw Donnelly's book from the cliffs and perhaps myself with it. Maybe it will wash back up through the caves and erupt from the spring when the rain comes, making its return to the hermit's cave. Perhaps it will be back on the table when I wake. I think I may have thrown it into the sea several times before.
More paint. Lots of paint. So they had civilized animals. I guess they didn't use brick, they used stone. They still used cement to keep it together. Get over the rock. There you go. Wait, did I already go in here? Yeah, I did. There was one down there. I don't know. Don't know. Oh, that looks pretty. Minecraft terrain generation right here. That's what we need. So, looks like shepherds used to own this place. Group of shepherds with some modern day materials. Or at least back in the 1700s. They have barbed wire back then. I guess they could have. I don't know where I'm going anymore. Just walk.
He left his body to the medical school and was duly opened out for a crowd of students 21 days after his passing. The report is included in my edition of his book. The syphilis had torn through his guts like a drunk driver, scrambling his organs like eggs on a plate. But enough definition remained for a cursory examination, and, as I suspected, they found clear evidence of kidney stones. He's likely to have spent the last years of his life in considerable pain. Perhaps this is the root of his laudanum habit. Although its use makes him an unreliable witness, I find myself increasingly drawn into his orbit.
Okay, so we like to compare that.
They found Jakobsen in early spring. The thaw had only just come. Even though he'd been dead nearly 7 months, his body had been frozen right down to the nerves and had not even begun to decompose. His fingernails were raw and bitten to the quick. They found the phosphorescent moss that grows in the caves deep under the nails. Whatever he'd been doing under the island when his strength began to fail is lost. He'd struggled halfway up the cliff again, perhaps in a delirium, perhaps trying to reach the Bothy's fire before curling into a stone and expiring.
He didn't die, he expired. Anyway, it says something about shepherds, and it says something about something else. That's hard to talk about this stuff. Keep getting interrupted.
Climbing down to the caves, I slipped and fell and have injured my leg. I think the femur is broken.
Good.
It is clearly infected. The skin has turned a bright, tight pink, and the pain is crashing in on waves, winter tides against my shoreline, drowning out the ache of my stones. I struggled back to the bothy to rest, but it has become clear that there is only one way this is likely to end. The medical supplies I looted from the trawler have suddenly found their purpose. They will keep me lucid for my final ascent.
Candle. Better stay lucid. Here we go. Oh, maybe that's when I break my femur. This is definitely the end of the episode now, for sure. So, I'm gonna stop recording right here. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys watch my next episode.